Hello BookTube, hello friends, welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and I'm coming to you today from a different location. So let me just give you a little bit of a preface here. I have already filmed one video today that I was going to upload, and it was going to be what this video is now going to be, because that video turned into more of a bookshelf tour of my Christian fiction. I started out that video with a full shelf, full set of shelves, and my plan was to just go through and show you the series that I own that I have not read as far as Christian fiction is concerned. It turned into more of a long-winded bookshelf tour where I talked about the books I have read and the ones I haven't read, and the only thing I really didn't talk to you much about was a lot of the standalones I have, which are, some of them are still here and some are on the floor around me. It just turned into such a long video, but I think I will still upload it for those of you who are interested in seeing a more expanded version of what I own, in the way of Christian fiction. Then I will probably upload it after this, but this is the short version. For those of you who don't have time or want to sit through all of the long-windedness of the last video, as I put these back, I'm going to show you specifically the Christian fiction series that I own, that I've collected almost all of, or in some cases I have the whole series and I have not read any of them. So let's get started. Now let me adjust this camera angle just a little bit so you can see this bottom shelf. I didn't take these off the shelf because there were so many of them, but some of you may recognize this series. It's the Yada Yada Prayer Group series by Nita Jackson. The first one is simply the Yada Yada Prayer Group. These look super fun. I have not read any of them. I did read the first chapter of this for a try a chapter tag years ago, and I didn't get any farther than that. There is also a spin-off series, or at least I think it's a spin-off series, called the House of Hope series, and the first one is Where Do I Go? So I've got all four of those as well. So let me get these straightened back up. All right, so then the other books I had down here, I had two series by Michael Phillips. Neither of these series are nearly as colorful as the Nita Jackson series. These are both set in the South and set during the slavery times. I don't know exactly what year, but I have two series here. I believe they are both 4-book series, and I'm still missing one in that one. The first series I want to show you is the Shenandoah Sisters series, and these just look really good. I think this is about two girls growing up on this plantation. One is probably the daughter of the plantation owner, and the other one is a slave girl. She may be the daughter of the plantation owner too. I know that certainly did happen, but I don't know. I don't know if that's the case or not, but I know these two girls have grown up together, or they are growing up together in this book series, and it sounds really good. I have Angels Watching Over Me. Let's see, did I get these in the right order? Yes, I think that this is book 1. A Day to Pick Your Own Cotton. The Color of Your Skin Ain't the Color of Your Heart. And Together Is All We Need. So this is a 4-book series by Michael Phillips. I really would love to read those at some point soon. I'm still missing book 3 in this series, but this is the Carolina Cousins series. The first book is A Perilous Proposal. The second book is The Soldier's Lady. I don't have the third book. I don't even know the title of it. And the fourth book is Miss Katie's Rosewood. So at some point after I get the third book, I will try to get started on those. And then I was so excited on my trip to get the very last book in this series. And of all of these series, this one is probably one of the top 3 that I'm most excited about reading. And I was excited also to find out that Tiffany from the Beach Bum Bookworm has read some of these. I had never heard really anyone talk about this series. I think one more person may have commented that they had read some of these too, and I'm just really excited about these. These look right up my street, like something I would totally love. It's the Lumbee series by Gail Fraser. The first one is the Lumbee Lines, and then Stealing Lumbee, Lumbee's Bounty, Promise of Lumbee, Lumbee in the Air, and my most recent purchase, Lost in Lumbee. Yay, I'm so excited about that. Those all fit nicely on this bottom shelf. And then, as you might can tell, I say that, this one won't quite go back, but we'll work on that later. I am able to double stack these shelves. That's why these are pushed so far back, so I can put a whole nother row of books here. I've got a few books by Colleen Coble, but a couple of them are just random, not first in series. And the two that I do have that start a series is the Aloha Reef series. So that is probably the next series I will read by her. I have listened to another series by her, Mercy Falls, I believe, and I just listened to all those on audio. I don't own any of them in physical form, and that was a really good series. This is the Aloha Reef. The first one, I believe, is Distant Echoes, and then Black Sands. So I have those. There is one series that usually lives down here by Charlene Ann Bombick, and I have started it. I said I was just going to talk about the ones that I haven't read, but it's the Dearest Dorothy series, and I am hoping to finish that this year. You'll hear me talk more about it later. That series is on my Get Serious About Series challenge, and so that's the series I'm working to finish this year. I've got another trilogy by her that I'm excited about now, especially because my sister has been reading them. And so now I have all three. I think this is book 1, Stray Affections. Book 2 is Divine Appointments. It's the Snow Globe trilogy. And then Finding Our Way Home is book 3. So I'm excited to have all of those now. I've got another series, trilogy by Delia Parr that I would love to get to. 2 of them are mass market paperback, though, and they are behind here. In case you haven't ever seen the setup of my shelves, this whole shelf here, this 3-shelf unit, I keep Christian fiction. This little shelf, which is not much wider than what you can see in the camera shot, is my staging shelf where I keep the books that I am currently reading. But it is also deep enough to be double stacked. So when I ran out of room on this shelf, I started putting my mass market paperback Christian fiction, like the Love Inspired and things like that, behind my staging books. So, because the other 2 in this trilogy are that size, they're in there as well. The series is the Home Ties trilogy. This one is Abide With Me, which I don't know the number. Let me see if I can see it on my Kindle real quick. I have all my books cataloged on here. If you hear talking in the background, it's because Emily is sitting in the kitchen on the computer doing e-school. Okay. Oh, this is the first one. Abide With Me, and then Day by Day and Carry the Light. I do own those. And then there is another trilogy I own by her that I've already read, so I don't need to talk about them, but it is the Candlewood trilogy. I've only got 2 of them here because I sent the other one to my sister because she didn't have the third one. All right, I've got a little duology here, which looks fun. I picked these up at a book sale somewhere by Trish Perry, Tea with Millicent. And The Perfect Blend, I think, is the first one. And then Tea for Two is the other one. And I think that's just a 2-book series, and those look fun. I have a couple of different series by Robin Jones Gunn that I have been wanting to get to. Well, I say that, and then my stuff is in such a jumble. Let me put Robin Jones Gunn on hold while I just go through what I come to next. These are not gonna go back up in the right order, and they didn't even really come down in the right order. They were a mess to begin with. At least, though, I will group them by series. The problem is that I will have some mixed, like a series will be mixed editions, and some will be taller than the other, or all the books by one author, some will be different heights, and one or 2 of the shelves are not as deep as the other, or not as, short to tall. So I just have to put them where they fit, which means I can't usually put them in alphabetical order. I have this duology by Judith Pella that looks quilt themed. It's the Patchwork Circle duology. Bachelor's Puzzle is the first one, and Sister's Choice is the second one. So those look good. And let me put I've got a bunch of Laurie Wick standalones, which I'm not going to go through, but let me just put them back on the shelf where I had them in order to get them off the floor so that I can see what's left. And then we'll try to clean up as I go. That wasn't where those went. Okay. I don't remember what else went here. Let me just show you these. I've got I've only got 3 books by Kim Vogel Sawyer. I think that one is a standalone. But I have 2 in this mystery series. And the publisher sent me this one, which is book 2, Unveiling the Past. So then, of course, I had to go in search of the first one, Bringing Maggie Home. So I was excited about these because they are mysteries and they're Christian mysteries. So I have not read those, and I'm excited to get to those at some point, someday. All right, what next? I also just finished collecting all 3 of the Quilt Chronicles by Stephanie Grace Whitson. My sister has read these and said they're very good. We have The Message on the Quilt. I think the second one is The Key on the Quilt, or that might be the first one. And then the last one is The Shadow on the Quilt, which I just hauled in my last book haul. And also, I just hauled in my last book haul the other 2 books I didn't have in the Ruby Prairie series by Annette Smith. The first book is A Town Called Ruby Prairie. These take place in Texas. These just look really good. A New Day at Tanglewood. And then the one I got first, then I had to go in search of the rest of them, is Charlotte Leaves the Light On. I'm really excited about reading those. Those just really look like something I'm going to love. Okay, I have this scrapbooking themed series that I've owned for a long time, and I'm excited about these. I don't know what's taken me so long to read them. So I think this is all of them. There is basically 4 books and then a prequel, which I don't know at what point this was published, but this is labeled book 0, so we'll start here. Prince Charming, and I think this was actually the first one that I found of this series. Sisters Inc., and that's the name of the series, I believe, is Sisters Inc. Then Coming Unglued. I don't know if this is all scrapbooking or just paper crafting and scrapbooking. I don't know. Scrapping Plans and Perfect Peace. These are by Rebecca Seitz or Seitz. I'm not sure how she pronounces that. I think these were up here. I have also this collection of books, which is not really a series, but I'll show them to you. They're kind of fun. Have you ever seen these Love Finds You series? Look at that. Love Finds You in Prince Edward Island. Oh, that looks fun. And I think the first one I got was one of these Florida ones. Love Finds You in Holiday, Florida. Look how cute that is. Because I live in Florida. So I was drawn to these. Love Finds You in Treasure Island, Florida. And then sometimes if I see one at a fill-a-bag sale or something, I'll just go ahead and grab it. Love Finds You in Snowball, Arkansas, and in Branson, Missouri. So these, I believe, are read as standalones. They're by different authors, and they're just kind of a collection with the theme running through. All right, I've got a few books by T. Davis Bunn, or I think he just goes by Davis Bunn now. This is not a series book, so I'm not going to get into that. Miramar Bay is the first of a series, and I've heard that this is really good. I've only got this first one, so I won't dwell on that too long. But the series by him that I'm most excited to get to is by him and Isabella Bunn, who I believe is his wife. And this is the Heirs of Acadia series. It's the spin-off series of the Song of Acadia series that is by T. Davis Bunn and Jeanette Oak, which I've read and loved. It's been years since I read them. I own a few of them on audio, and I own a couple of them in print. I didn't really ever set out to collect them, but in recent years, I do have 2 or 3 of them. They're in the other room with my Jeanette Oak collection. Anyway, I'm probably going to have to refresh myself on maybe the last 2 books. I remember pretty vividly what happened in the first few books. It's basically a story of 2 women who become friends. One is the wife, well, they're both wives. One is British and the other is French. And they live in Acadia, and there's a very distinct class system, and the French people are very discriminated against. So when the French woman's young baby needs medical attention, they reluctantly kind of decide to switch children so that the British woman can take the French baby to the doctor. On that night is when the government decides to ship all the French people to Louisiana. And so the British baby goes with the French family to Louisiana, and then the British family ends up raising the French baby, and it goes from there. And of course, the girls grow up, and we find out their story, and it goes on. It's fantastic. So I'm really excited to get to these. This first one is The Solitary Envoy, The Innocent Libertine, The Noble Fugitive, The Night Angel, The Falconer's Quest. So those will get read soon. I've had those on near the top of my radar for quite a while. Okay, and then I mentioned earlier Robin Jones Gunn. The first book I ever owned by her was this standalone, Gardenias for Breakfast. I still haven't read it, but then the publisher sent me Becoming Us, which is kind of a spin-off of the Christy Miller series. I've got a couple of those too. I haven't read any of them, and I'm not in a huge rush to read those, but the next book by her that I do want to read is the sequel to this one. It's called Being Known, because this one was really, really good. So because I enjoyed this one so much, I started, collecting her books as I would see them, and I have a few of the Sister Chicks novels, the Sister Chicks on the Loose, Sister Chicks Down Under, and Sister Chicks Do the Hula. There are more in the series than that. I haven't started those and don't know when I'll ever get to them, but those look fun. And then I have also collected a few of the Glenbrook series, and I don't even know the order of these. I think there's maybe 6 in this series, and I've got 3. Clouds, Waterfalls, and Echoes. So I've still got some collecting to do with Robin Jones Gunn books, and I need to at least finish the duology that I've started. And then I think Sister Chicks on the Loose is the first in the Sister Chicks series. So I'll probably get to that series next in the order of Robin Jones Gunn books. I don't know. We shall see. I did actually listen to the first 2 in another trilogy. Now I can't even think what it was called. I just read those this year or last year. I don't know. It hadn't been that long ago. Anyway, it's irrelevant because I don't own them. And we're talking about trying to just stick with the books that I own right now. All right. Let me see if I can figure out what is going to go back here. I don't think this is a series. I have a few books by Ruth Livingston Hill, who I believe is Grace Livingston Hill's daughter. Just trying to figure out what I want to put back here. I do have this 3-book series. This is an old Guidepost series by Brenda Wilby. Sweetbriar is the series. That's the first book. I first learned about this series when my sister sent me this one, Sweetbriar Bride. And then later at a thrift store, I found Sweetbriar Spring. I think these are the only ones. And I got those. Let me throw a couple of standalones back there that I'm not going to talk about in this video, just to fill up the shelf. I know, some of you are going crazy right now because I'm not putting these in any kind of order. I may or may not come back and do that later. No promises. Okay. Then, it's not a series. Okay. Oh, yeah. I had these up there. So, funny story. I have a friend who has 2 daughters. One's in her 20s and one is about Katie's age. And they were over here one day last year. And when the mom and I were talking, the younger daughter was over here looking at my books. They all love to read, but the younger daughter, she's like I said, she's about Katie's age, and they all like to read Christian fiction. So she spotted my books, and she was over here just like wowing. She was like, "Oh, I've read this. Oh, I want to read this. Oh, this is great. Oh, I can't believe you have these," and just on and on. It was hilarious. So I said, "Well, you're welcome to borrow some, and whatever." So she was enjoying just going through the books while we were chatting over here. And these had been in the back. So she was I told her, I said, feel free to pull some off because there's more behind them, take a look. So she found this series by Lawana Blackwell, and she's like, Mom, she's got the Gresham Chronicles. And come to find out, her mom, when they lived in another state, when she was much younger, well, maybe not much younger, I don't know how long ago, she had babysat for Lawana Blackwell and watched her child or children while she was writing these. I think it was these, because this is the main series that she has. So that's such a cool thing. So I picked these up. I think I got 2 of these at our public library at a book sale. And then I had to go in search of the rest of them because they're beautiful. And I heard really good things about them. I think some of you have commented that you've read these and enjoyed them. Also, my friend who has the flea market bookstore has read these, really loved them. She said they were great. So the covers are just amazing. This is the Gresham Chronicles. Book 1 is The Widow of Larkspur Inn. It's gorgeous. Then number 2, The Courtship of the Vicar's Daughter. Number 3, The Dowry of Miss Lydia Clark. And number 4, The Jewel of Gresham Green. So I am excited about those. I think I found these on audio somewhere, maybe Scribd. So I could possibly get to these this year. That would be awesome. This is a Guidepost series I have. I don't know if there are any more of these than these 3. And I don't know anything about them, but I was drawn to the covers completely. I have Seaside Harmony. I think these are by different authors too. The series is Nantucket Dreams, and this one's by Patty Berg. I think this is number 2 is Sunflower Summer by Pam Hansen and Barbara Andrews. I do have some other books by them because they write they've got books in some of the other Guidepost series. And Whispers on the Dock is by Cami Tang. I have read at least 1 book by her. So I've just got 3 of those. I don't know if there's any more or not. All right, then this top shelf also had been the home of all of my Laurie Wick books. So let me make room for them. I've got this 3-book series, or I think it's more of a collection. I don't know if they're connected, but and I don't know what order they go in. They look historical, Western. I have Sabrina, Cassidy, and Jessie. This is the Big Sky Dreams series. And I think there's only 3 of those, and it's been around a while, so that's probably all that there's going to be of that one. All right, let me pull these closer. That's a standalone, The Princess. I have not read it. I have finished this series, so we don't have to talk about them, the English Garden series. I've got 3 books here from, hang on 1 second. I mainly needed to pull my farther stacks closer, but while I had the camera pause, I went to check on Emily to make sure she was still doing school. Okay, so let's talk about Laurie Wick. I have the one that I'm most excited to read next by her is the Tucker Mills trilogy. And I hope I have these in the right order. Number 1 is Moonlight on the Mill Pond. These are just beautiful covers. And then Leave a Candle Burning and Just Above a Whisper. It's a trilogy. They're just gorgeous books. I was drawn to them from the minute I saw those. And I think they're all on Hoopla now. For a long time, only 1 and 3 were on Hoopla. And I was prepared to go ahead and just read the second one in print. But I think the second one is on there now. So I have another standalone that I just hauled from Laurie Wick. And then I have this 4-book series. Let me get them in the right order here. It is A Place Called Home series. So the first book is A Place Called Home. Then A Song for Silas. The Long Road Home. And A Gathering of Memories. These are all pretty short. I ought to be able to get to these at some point in the not too far out future. But anyway, those look good. Then I have a couple of other series because she is a very prolific writer and has a bunch of series. So these are some I just randomly came across. I think someone may have even given me one or two of these. And one I know I found at a thrift store. It looked interesting. Two of them are from the Rocky Mountain Memories series. And I don't even know what book in the series. I don't think I have the first one. I don't even know. But I have these two books. So before I rush to collect the rest, I need to read some other things by her and see if I want to keep them or if I want to move them on. For now, I'm going to hang on to the English Garden series, even though I've finished them. I just love them. They're beautiful. I need to take that sticker off of that one. These three I'll probably keep. These, if I love them, I'll keep them. But if not, then I could probably pass those on. And those two. So, like I said, before I continue to collect a lot more series, because I'm pretty much out of room here, then I need to, read some of those that I have finished. Anyway, I have Where the Wild Rose Blooms and To Know Her by Name. Those are both from the Rocky Mountain series. See, I already have run out of room, so I don't know where I'm going to put those. This one is from the Kensington Chronicles, which I think is a very popular series. It's one of her older ones. Who Brings Forth the Wind? I don't know what number that is, but I do have that. If you've read anything by Laurie Wick, any of these different series, which do you like? What do you recommend? If you've read the Tucker Mills trilogy, what did you think of it? Does the story live up to the covers? Because the covers are great. All right, this is a series that I also really love the look of the covers, and this is by Melody Carlson. I've got a lot of books by her that are Christmas books, but these are not, and I don't own the first one. I believe that's the one I'm missing. I think it's a 4-book series, and I've got books 2, 3, and 4. It's the Whispering Pines series, and I don't know. Like I said, I don't have book 1. This is book 2, Everything I Long For. See, isn't that such a pretty cover? Number 3, Looking for You All My Life. And then book 4, Someone to Belong To. So I need to find the first one of that series so that I can be about the business of reading those. All right, I've got a few other books to go back on the shelf, but they're not series. I just really wanted in this video to show you the series that the Christian fiction series that I have that I want to read. Now, this doesn't even include the Guidepost series that I have. I have a lot of the Tales from Grace Chapel Inn. I've got a couple here that I just hauled. So, that's a series that I need to get to. I also have a 5-book series by Laurie Copeland and Virginia Smith that I have in there on the other. Actually, let me just go show you those and then we'll sign off in there. All right, this is just a little small section of the shelves that are usually behind me when I film. And I've got a series here by Laurie Copeland and Virginia Smith. I don't know why I have these separate from the rest of my Laurie Copeland books. Maybe I thought by having them in here, I would get to them faster. I don't know. My sisters read these and really, really enjoyed them. It's a 5-book series, The Island of Heavenly Days, and I've got all 5 of those. Then these are slightly inspirational. I've been reading the first one, which is True Love and Homegrown Tomatoes, and I've got the rest of the trilogy here. Mater Biscuit and Those Pearly Gates is the rest of that series. And then this series is one that my mother gave me, and I think I've read them, but it's been years. I need to reread these. The Train to Esteline by Jane Roberts Wood, then A Place Called Sweet Shrub, and Dance a Little Longer. This is about a young woman who just gets on she takes a job as a school teacher out west, and just gets on a train and just has an adventure. So all of those are Christian-based or at least lightly faith-based. And so now I'm going to turn the camera around and do a sign-off.
So I hope you enjoyed that look at my unread Christian fiction series. Let me know down in the comments if you have read any of those, or if you want to read any of those, if you have ever even heard of any of those. I know some may be more obscure than others, but that's what I have on my shelf, and I just wanted to let you take a look at it. Now, the next video, which I probably will also upload today, is going to have some repeat. It's going to be the long version, basically, but a little more chatty, a little more in-depth, and so if you care to see the expanded version, then that will be uploaded pretty soon after this one. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.